Harry, Geordie Prepper here, and welcome to today's Wednesday Weekly World News on November 15th, 2017. Microsoft is getting in on the cashless society BS with a relaunch of the Microsoft Pay. It's called Microsoft Pay now after being branded a few other things. It seems to be integrated onto Windows Phone 8. So clearly they're wanting to get into the cashless society BS and, offer people a way to not have a wallet at all and to remove cash from payment systems. Obviously Microsoft knows exactly what you're buying, and there's absolutely no privacy when you're out buying consumer products. So we see this as really just a continuation of the agenda to remove cash and to have all payments really by electronic means. And we've got an article here on Zero Hedge. It's about the debt crisis in Great Britain, and it's been talked about on mainstream media a bit more now. They're saying the personal debt is a very high level, and consumer spending is down. I've seen this across a few different outlets. Obviously, one key area that they're saying is really out of control is people getting credit for like vehicles and things like that, car finance. So it seems that people are borrowing more and earning less, and this is obviously leading to or it's going to lead to exactly what we saw in 2008, which is people defaulting on the debt. It's a debt-based system. If there was no debt, then the central bankers wouldn't be earning any profit. So obviously this is clearly an indication that the system that we're using is not for the public. It's for a very small minority that profit off other people's misery, because financial woes do weigh heavy on people. People who don't know how the monetary system works, it weighs heavily on them. Those of us who are awake and are aware of the criminality of the system, I think generally those people tend to be not in debt, because the only way and the best way to play the game is not to play it at all. An article on France 24 is saying that Great Britain jobless rate stays at 42-year low, and this is from official data. So if anything says official in the title, then it's manipulated basically. And they're saying here that British unemployment remains at a 42-year low point. Official data showed on Wednesday. They don't name the source of this official data. Wages growth remains far below. That's to be expected, obviously. And they're saying that the unemployment rate stands at 4.3% in the quarter to the end of September. I think clearly if you just go around any British town, you can see that this data and these official statistics are absolute complete bullshit, because you can see just by the sheer number of people that are homeless and living on the streets that unemployment rate is actually through the roof. Back in the day when I first was going into the tune, typical oldest gentlemen were in their 40s, 50s or older. And now we see people that are in the mid-20s, up to mid-30s, unemployed and homeless. So these statistics in no way can be taken as the truth. They're just manipulated to obviously hide, the scale of the problem in Great Britain right now with the massive unemployment. So I've been seeing that there's obviously the current Fed chair, Janet Yellen, or whatever her name is. She's going to be leaving the position. So there's the bullshit mainstream media press about who's going to replace her and, some other positions on the Fed board. But obviously, the Federal Reserve is outside of US control. The president has absolutely no say on who takes up the position. And, that's obviously the central bankers who decide that. The facade that the president chooses is really just to maintain the facade that the Federal Reserve, is a lawful bank that can operate in the United States when it's outside of the Constitution. It has absolutely no allegiance to the United States and the Republic. So the people who are putting on the chair, you know, they're simply just the public face of the cowards that have put them in the position, because they're too afraid and too scared to put their inbred mugs in front of the camera. So, you know, they're saying that there's this lady, Michelle Bowman, commissioner for the Kansas State Bank. She would fill a position at the Central Bank reserved for someone with community banking experience. So, you know, really just maintaining this illusion that the Federal Reserve is a lawful bank when it's anything but.